continue doing the structure, the method of all the stroke, okay, to continue because we have only a few more classes to go, and I expect everyone to be able to finish the entire textbook all in one time. So after I sharing all the method, all the ways how to do the stroke, and then when you go home, you practice and watch the video, then you will be able to finish everything. I hope I won't see everyone can only do one character or two character, try to do the whole thing. Okay, so by the end, the last class, I hope everyone can bring me the homework that will, the whole set of textbook that can be done in all in once. Now, last week, I repeat and review the dot, the dot stroke, the short horizon stroke. Now today, I will continue for doing a bit more combination, not only single stroke, but put together. For example, we talk about the short horizon. We have two ways. The one is a very simple and antique way, just short horizon like this. And the other one is a bit more technique. This one is have a curve and a shape like this. And we go back up, turn, and then we come. This short horizon stroke is also the dot. So the dot a bit more short, the horizon a bit lengthy. Now, this is all short horizon stroke. Now we're talking about the long one. The long one we all know that should have the silken head like this, and then lift up, press up, move back to the center, and lift up the brush, and then move with a little bit of curve, but not too much. And then once you're passing, you think this is the center point, and you try to pressure down a little bit, but don't drop, okay? And then you try to lift up with the duck tail. Slowly, slowly, like this. So short stroke, horizontal stroke, the long one. And then we talk also about the vertical short stroke. From bottom up, we turn, press down a little bit, and then all the way down here, and then we turn. Okay, so I put this and this together, forming a separate individual character. So what are they? Here. The horizontal short stroke. So this style is the one up here. And then I have the short vertical come down. Now I have the long horizon. So that this character, then now you know 3 strokes form a new character. And this one is earth or soil. Now the same one, if you do it opposite, upside down, I have the long stroke on the top and the short stroke on the bottom, and become another character. How's that mean? Now I have the long horizon on the top okay, and a vertical short stroke, and the short horizon this way. This one mean 是係咪男士或者女士 mean a gentleman or a lady. This also is like unisex. You can call person a male or a female. It's the simple meaning. And then this one, the long horizon stroke, then earth or soil. Okay, so when you see something like that, you need to know the difference. So now, the same thing that I try to say another one that you can form a character. Like we talked about this before, a long horizon stroke with a short vertical stroke mean 10. Okay, Bruce? Now, we have a dot. We learned about the dot last week. And now we know about the horizon, long horizon stroke. Now, we talk about the curve, the vertical stroke down here, and then we make a turn. So if I put a long horizon, the long vertical stroke with a curve plus a dot, so another character. So today I try to explain step by step with the structural of a word, of a character with a different stroke, the long horizon stroke, the vertical stroke, and with a curve and a dot. So it will become another character. This character means the inch in measurement. Long stroke and a long vertical with a curve on the bottom, the turning on the bottom. And a dot mean inch. Okay, so this dot, how you do it? We learned that we have come down, push up, press down, go up. Okay, or a round dot, come down, push up, circle back, can be a round dot. So both is okay on here. So now another one. Also with a long horizon stroke, but with a vertical stroke without a curve. And then have a side kick stroke on a diagonal like this. So what does that mean? Here. This one without a turn, just only straight down. And then you have one diagonal kick like this. So this is another character. And this is part of the textbook that you need to practice at home. So this means capability, your ability. Now we're talking, go back to the first one, we're talking about the earth or the soil. The short stroke on the top and the long stroke on the bottom. Now this is only when this character stands on its own, alone. You do it something like this. However, if it going to combine with another character, so today we talk about combination of a character, then you don't do it this way. For example, let's say land, the ground. You do it like this, the short on the top
the same thing, okay? And the short vertical come down. However, the bottom one is no longer a long horizon, but short as well. And I will tell you why. I will finish the one on the right hand side. So this all you need to do. Sometimes you have a dot in here. Sometimes you don't have to put a dot. Doesn't matter. Now on the right hand side here, there's another character over here. Okay, now come down, and then the short horizon, a vertical. Then you come down this one, move up, and then you have this. This one is the ground of the land. Okay? So also you have another character I'm talking about in this side as well. Also the earth, or you call the soil. Now, this means tank, the tank, like the weapon, the tank. So this one, or in another meaning, it means be frank. Be frank means that no hidden agenda. 坦白, be frank, friendly. So I'm doing the demonstration here. I want you to understand. Sometimes the character itself stands by itself alone. You have to write it all in the center, spread out in the center, this way, because it stands alone. However, when it comes combined with other, then you have to know how to keep space. Leave the space on the right hand side for the guy in the right hand side have room to stand on. You cannot just do the same thing like, okay, I do it the same thing like I do it to stand alone, and then you have another stand alone like this. Then your character will look terrible. Now, another character that very tough and a lot of challenge, even with me a long time for practice, is the one called girl. Now I'm going to do another one, the one that's called the girl. This one, the girl, the character of the girl is very challenging. We have to know the center line first. The girl itself, stand alone by itself, it's not that easy to write. It's either the leisure or the handwriting. Come down, I tell you why, because you need to make the curve and the round, they're all evenly involved on the center. Now, you can see the center line. I even need to have it like almost like the egg oval. And this end, they have shared the same similar space, top and bottom, and left and right, the same space. Okay? If you are not able to structure them in this way, the whole character will shift terribly. So I'll show you something that wrong way. If you do it this way, okay? Now, I go down here. But this one, I go this way. I'm not even. It's shift. Not look good. Now, another one. If I go in this way, this is the center line again. Even I try to do it, extend the leg, but they still not in the center. It shift this way or shift that way. So when you do something like that without the center line, you in your mind, you need to tell yourself, how I make sure that this character, they can stand alone by itself but evenly without a problem. Okay, if you are lengthy like this one, lengthy, then the top, the bottom, the left, the right got to be even. Okay,
I can do it a little bit short.
like this one.
Another one,
The mountain, the character of mountain is also a big challenge. The mountain, the character of mountain, you need to use the center line as well. But you need to know the character of the mountain is like a triangle. So when you do the mountain, you need to know this is the center stroke, the short stroke comes down here. Now, you need to make sure that they form like a triangle. Then your character will look good. So now I'm doing something without the triangle. I have a triangle in my mind. So I'm doing here, I come down, okay? Now, I want to know how far and how far both ends should be stay away, should be open. Then if I open about this far, this end also need to be the same distance. And do I want this stroke below waist or above waist? So you use your own judgment. If you do it above waist, like this way, do you think it will look good? You can practice on your own. Or you do it this way, below waist. Which one you think it look better? Or one more, you try to do it right on the waist. Compare. Now if you find you like this one better, then you try to adjust to make some modification to make it good.
understand, Bruce? Now this is only talking about the mountain that stand
Alone by itself. If you have a character next to that, it's the combination that you have to do something different. Or you have something that above or below the mountain. Also you need to do some different arrangement. For example, I'm going to do something that the mountain stand on top. Okay, so the mountain stand on top like this way, or combined with another character. So this is one. But the same thing, you can do it different. You can put the mountain on the side. And I will tell you what the meaning of this character. Put the mountain on the side like this. So when you put the mountain on the side like this, you have to remember the rule that I said. If the character itself is so short, then you need to make sure that they stand in the middle of the combination to the left or to the right. Otherwise, it will not balance. You see? Otherwise, it will not balance. If it's too high or too low. So this is the same character as this, just taking the mountain to the side. But you cannot put the mountain on the bottom. So what does that mean? That means this character itself means the tip of the mountain. The tip of the mountain. Now, you have the characters have the mountain on the bottom. So how are you going to do that? Then you need to give some space for the bottom, the guy in the bottom, the mountain on the bottom to stand on. Now, you see the center, and this side, and this side. Okay, Bruce, you see this? That's how when you structure a character, construct a character, you need to look always balanced to the left and right, or leverage the top and the bottom to proportionate. Like this one, the mountain on the top, I will not write the mountain on the top is too tall like this. And then on the bottom like this. The top just like the head of a human being. So the heads cannot be too big, too tall. Otherwise you look bad. And here's the shoulder. And here's the leg, the lower part of the body. See, that way you can see the three parts and evenly, proportionate. Does that make sense? Character. This character also is a combination. It stands by itself. It doesn't have a lot of meaning. This character originally was from the character of a person, like this. Okay? So how you do this one? In a handwriting, you do it like this way. So mean double cursor. Now in Lishu, it's different. Lishu doing this way. They have a short horizontal stroke, or you call it dot like this. And then they have a 90-degree or elbow turn. Lift up, turn, down, and then curve. All right? So this one is for the character on the left. Normally, like for example, the one that I'm following you. It's like this. This one, follow. I'm following you. You see, this side is a bit more skinny. This side, more stroke and more bulky. Then you have to try to balance it. Let this guy a bit more to the left, and the center is like this. And then now you have this one. Then it becomes balanced. You see that, Bruce? Okay. So you have another one. a heart. We practiced that last week, the heart here. Now, it's also okay. Now this one, I believe last week, the Bruce or Alice did ask me, the bowl. This one also stand by itself. It will occupy the entire center, and you need to balance on both ends like this. This means the bowl. Now, if you have a combination with the other one, then you will not stand in the center. You will stand on the left hand side like this. And this one a bit down a little bit. And on this end, you can have this character. And also have another one means strong. This one is more lengthy and more stroke. Than this one. Then you need to make sure that they are all evenly balanced. This one, you need to in the center like this. Okay? Now, one more. This one. This one also in part of the text. You put the vertical stroke and the horizontal stroke, and you go it this way. This one, most of them, they are stand on the right hand side of the character. Now, this is the center. So when you do the center, this one need to, the last stroke need to come to the cross right at the center, and it will stand by itself. If you don't do it that way, you do it this. It's not in the center. It's off. Okay? What else? Okay. This one, last week we talked about that. I just add one more thing. We talked about this last week. And there are two, last week we talked about two different ways. This is the first way, first style. The other one is the dot. Instead of the dot, they have the long horizon like this way. You remember, you asked me about this, right? Actually the same. Now, when this one, it can do so many other things. For example, if you're doing the door, for example, the door, here, I can show you how. You can do it this way. Come here. And this is also the door. Okay, Bruce, see that? Now, you can also put this guy over here. I don't confuse you, but I want you to understand. Sometimes when you see something like that, you won't surprise. Now, you can do it this way, and then you can do this guy here. Okay? And then, instead of this,
So when you look at some of the old book, if you see something like that, you don't surprise. Actually, it does exist. This is the design. What the mean of this? It means a house, a home. Wu, am I? Mean a house. Wu. Family. So a door, they have a family, built with a family. So this means a family or a home. So that's why you can do it this way. I mean the family on this side and the left hand side, the right hand side like this. So right in the center, at the bottom up, press down, return. Make sure the cross is got to be in the center. Now the cross here in the center. Press down, turn, return. In the center, go down. Now, this one, you can do it this way with the short horizon like this. Lift up, go up, return, press down, lift and move and press. I put too long, too much, it's no good. Here, you can do it this way. This time I do it the horizon with the vertical first, and I go like this. Yeah, this one better, much better. This one, when it stands by itself, you put this top stroke a bit more lengthy and in the center. And you come straight down, turn, and happy. And then you go this way. Like that. Now you remember last week we talked about 武功嘅武字mean Kung Fu. The Kung Fu that last week we talked about this one. So this part is this one. Now if you have something like this as part of the character, then you don't stand on the center and you don't make too lengthy, all depend on. So you can go like this and then go down, turn and happy here. And then you can go this way. This one you can go this way, or like this one you can go with the horizon. Just like that, okay? So it's the same. Or why it's different? Just because you want to find the space for the guy to stand, to stay. They need to have a position in the whole character. this one we just talked about this. It means it's a double person. Come down, lift up, turn in the center, slowly lift up right away, down, up, lift up, press down, like this, lift up, turn, return. So this one meaning okay, Bruce? See, this one, this stroke, mean this stroke. This guy here, mean this one. So this one seldom to stand by itself, normally combined with others. So that's why I put it on the left hand side, so you know it gives some space to the guy in the left, the right, to put another character. Now the next one, okay. Mean family. This is the white dot that we're talking about, and then you have return down here a bit. Press a little bit, stay there a little bit, lift up, press down. You see, I'm doing a trick. I make it curve first, so you run inside, okay? So you can do some trick like this. Or you can do the one on the side. Normally this one, they come with like this. Right? No. Return. Or you can do it this way, but a bit wide. All depend on what kind of character inside that you are going to do. So, but just let you know, everyone know that you have different way. If in here they have a lot of stroke, like 龐大, then you need more room for it. You cannot do something like this. You have no room. 龐大. Thank you. The bow. The bow normally the top, the head here, a bit slightly narrow and not too heavy compared to the bottom. Otherwise, you will find that the bottom is not able to support. Press down, lift up, go, return. Okay, here. This guy is like on the side. You go like this, lift up. A bit long on the leg because you don't know what on the right hand side to combine with. See, this is what they normally do. Sometimes you have this word like this. The earth you do the top, always from the top to the center and to the bottom. you see, I always, when I need to go down, I always from the bottom up and then return. Lift up, press up, go. See, I push, and then I lift up. Thank you. Now, I put it on the left-hand side because you have a combination. So when you put on the left-hand side, you have to make sure that you have space for the guy later on to the left or to the right. They can do. Now, like I mentioned before, you can have a dot here, or you don't put a dot, doesn't matter. This is the way that the way how they structure. Thank you. Now, the girl, this one is the toughest one that I believe. You need to know that you have enough space here, the similar space on the light, the top and the bottom got to be even. You can have the top space a little bit less than the bottom, but you cannot have the top have a lot of space, but the bottom have no space. Something like this. You have a bit less space on the top, but the bottom have more. Fine, because you need this to support the top. But you cannot let this space over here, but the top have wide open. And see both ends even. So now, what I do a little bit trick. If I do start with the center or touching the center, I will not able to get it right. So this is my trick. I do it a bit further to the left, low, come down, and I press down in the center, lift up, go. Now, what I do the trick now, I tell you. I try to start here, here. Now, I come down, then I put, when I turn, I still meet in the center. You see? Now, to finish the last stroke, I make the top a little bit less space. Like I said, it's fine. See, this way, look good. But if I practice many times, if I do it this way, if I do it right in the center, and then I come down, go like this, then do the center, you always have some kind of very funny pointed, but they are not rounded inside. But if I do it like I do now, I already rounded here, and all I need to do, touching up and then around, then it's all easy to do it round. So that's my trick. Now, because you always combine with something on the right, so you make it a bit not in the character or in square. You need to be leave it a little bit skinny. And I let long here. Why? Now you can be crossing or you can be touching, or depend on what do you have inside here on the right hand side. Okay? If you have something like this, then I'm not going to over. Why? Because I have this guy, he's touching. If you have this over, it will take off the space. You see what I mean? I don't cross. I leave it like that. Thank you. Light, come down, press up, and then move and lift, and then down here a little bit, heavy, lift up, then you go turn into the center. Now, Bruce, you have some confusion here. So what I can tell you now, pay attention to this, okay? And then you come up here, stay here, have a curve. Now, when you curve, this turning and the cross here got to be in straight. You cannot have this one guy turning this way, but they are not in line. Otherwise, the whole character will not look the same, will not balance. It cannot stand. It off balance. Okay. Now you also have a combination to the right, so that's why I make this guy a bit more skinny. Now this one, you see, no matter what, the center line, when the turning, just right touching the straight line. If you don't do it that way, if you have this one like this, it's gonna off. Or you have it this way, because like this. Which means not right. Thank you. Now, the inch. The inch, you can do something like this without the ducktail. Now, I remember May asked me the problem with turning. So when you come down, you lift up the brush. When come down here, you want, before you turn, you have to press down a little bit, making some round inside. So that will make it good, okay? And then you have a dot here, up. Now this guy, normally they are on the right hand side combined with something. Then I go like this way. Always here, a little bit slightly press down, but you don't press so hard, otherwise it will look terrible. Now, one more thing I forgot to say. You see you have the center line here, but you will find this guy always a little bit off on the right. If you put it on the center, the whole character is not good, because the character itself is supposed to be, because they have a dot in here, okay? Now this guy, you can put it either center or you can put it a bit off to the right. It doesn't matter. But to me, I still like to put it to the right a little bit. Now, sometimes you see people do like this, including myself and the book. Be the other way around. Okay, Bruce? So don't confuse. It happened. Bruce come home, talk to some other guy, say, I don't know why people do that. So many different ways, I'm confused. Now, I'm talking about the mountain. Just a few minutes ago. It's a triangle. In your mind, in your brain, you should see the triangle here, invisible triangle. Then when you're doing it, then you will not confuse. Okay, my triangle I already know. Then I will talk to myself, should I have the left and right, below waist, or above waist, or just right on the waist? So I rather to have it just on the waist, and a little bit open a little bit. So I believe this way the proportionally look more balanced. Okay, if you're too low or you're too high, it's no good. Thank you. And the mountain always as well, like they always combine with some other character. So I put it on the right, the left here. Now I always try to make this side a bit more higher than this one, because when you have something like this on the right hand side to combine, then it will look better from an aesthetic way. And in Chinese calligraphy, you will find a lot of trend or the way how the flow, they always from left to right a bit on a triangle, diagonal this way up, and upper to the right. Now this is at the fill. I'm doing a trick here. I always like to press hard a little bit on the beginning of the character. Why? Because when I start here, I will have the round inside and the sharp corner outside. That way they look more antique way. Now you will see, it seems like I have a lot of space on the bottom, right? But it's not, because why? Because when I have this guy come up here, then we will look even. So in your mind, you have to calibrate yourself how to make the space. You can touching it